You. Hey guys, we are live. It's Bob from One Stop Mouse with my extremely special guest, Socks, Kidani Shawn, right next door here. Say hi to Kidani and Shawn.
You know, I forgot to put that in the little title. I should have put Kidani Socks in there. I completely spaced it. That's my bad.
I was joking around, and then I was like, "Ooh, I hope he doesn't mind that nickname," but he actually digs it. So
I think it's a cool nickname. I'll take it.
Very good. Well, Fantasia 2007, welcome in. We've got Shawn here, and we're just gonna, in my informal sort of way, shoot the breeze. We already started shooting the breeze, and we're gonna have to go back over some stuff backstage before we even started. I usually go down it's real easy for me to do an interview because I go down the yellow brick road of green screens. It's like paint by number. So I love to find out, some people are more shy than others about what they want to reveal on YouTube. And definitely it's good to have some borderlines there. But tell us what you'd like to tell us about yourself, Shawn.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
I have two legs. Next.
I'm still alive.
VP, how are you?
VP,
Adventures with VP. Please go and check out Adventures with VP.
No, I'm just your average guy. I've got a wife and two kids, and they keep me hopping. Hi, Katrina. They keep me hopping, and 4 cats and 1 dog. So,
oh, really?
Life is good. Yeah.
Really.
2 of the cats we rescued.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I have 1 cat and 2 dogs, and we rescued the cat. The 2 dogs both rescued themselves. Swear to God. They both walked in out of storms, and I was like, okay, well, I'll take them to the vet or whatever and try to adopt them away. And every time I would do that, people are always like, yeah, sure.
Well, so no, it's funny because when my wife and I met, she had a cat. That cat had passed away about in 2010-ish. And I was watching a Colts football game one Sunday, and her and the kids left. This is 1 week after the cat had passed away. She came back with 2 kittens. And it was a little brother, sister, a black and a gray cat. And their names are Lilo and Stitch. Stitch may be Stitch because Stitch will come up and walk across my laptop. He's asleep right now over in the chair, but he may come. Lilo is locked away in a room. Because one of the other cats we rescued, Oliver, doesn't get along with Lilo, and he actually tries to hurt her. So we keep them separate. But we had 2 cats that we rescued. One of them, Harry, which is the most lovable cat we've ever had. He actually was a feral cat that ran this neighborhood, and he wouldn't even come near us. And we just would set out food and water for him. And then finally one day he let me pet him. And then we'd sit on the ground, and he would crawl in our lap. And at that point, my wife goes, I want him in the house. So we took him to the vet, did all the stuff, made sure he was clean, got shots, all that. And he's been in the house ever since. He's been in probably about good 3 or 4 years.
That's interesting. I have a dog named Oliver, one of the dogs that rescued himself, please, sir, I want some more out of Oliver Twist.
Right.
And then the cat that we have is a 1-year-old. I guess it's just getting out of kittenhood, that got separated from its mother as a kitten like a year ago, and somebody in the neighborhood took the cat in, but it was too feral, and it was scaring the old dogs and the old cat in that household, and they couldn't get control of them. So we saw him on that next door app that they have in neighborhoods, where you can see what's going on in your neighborhood. And we felt sorry for him. He's a little tuxedo cat. So we took him in, and he did the same thing and terrorized our old beagles and stuff. So we have this one small bedroom that's kind of like a big closet. So we put a big cat tree in there, made it like Willy Wonka's cat chocolate factory in there. And then we basically, it's like, okay, when he's crazy, he's got a timeout, but he's got his own freaking room. So
there we go.
And he started to mellow out now, where last night on the recliner, he's like coming underneath the fleece blanket, It's the same thing. Interesting. Yeah. So we're both big dog rescuers and cat rescuers.
Yeah, and we rescued, we adopted 2 golden retriever puppies.
Oh.
We had a boy and a girl. We had Jasmine and Aladdin. Disney themed, of course.
Right. Yes.
But Aladdin, our boy, he was Buddy. So we started calling him Buddy. He was always Buddy. He had as a puppy, he was diagnosed with double hip dysplasia.
Ooh.
So they told
really?
us he would probably only live to be about 6, maybe 8 years old.
Uh-huh.
And the year he turned 6, we had to put him to sleep because he couldn't walk anymore.
Oh no.
But his sister is still, she's 10 years
Still
old.
okay.
She's 10 in October. She's great. She's still our girl, and she's upstairs sleeping with mom right now. So
wow.
You'll probably want to go out in the next hour, I'm sure.
Oh no. Dude.
Dog needs
I always show my old beagles. There they are right there. Okay. So one's like a regular beagle with the black and white. And the other one is sort of mixed with and so see this weird room, this bedroom. I can't afford sound insulation, that foam stuff they have in studios. So I went and bought a bunch of cheap towels from Walmart and tacked them to the walls in here so that it insulates the sound a little bit in this room, like my little studio. Because whenever I do that, people are like, "What the hell is with the towels on the walls?" Anyway,
I didn't know there were towels on the wall till you showed them to me.
So we know about you and DVC, and you do the show with Jeff, and you've been a DVC member since
2010.
2010.
We bought in February, so we closed. So our use year, for the people that know DVC, is March 1st. Okay, good, Bobby.
I did that once, and I actually had briefs on. Yeah.
Wow.
They're never gonna let me forget it. Katrina, it was only a flash. Katrina's like, "What was that flash of orange?" They were like those biker briefs, the bicycle briefs. Yeah.
Right. That's
interesting.
Funny. That's funny. That's like those Zoom commercials you see on TV now.
Oh. The Animal Kingdom Lodge is your place of choice then?
So yeah, when we bought in, I think they were selling both Bay Lake and Animal Kingdom Lodge at the same time. We were really leading toward Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was really cool, and I think I brought this up on a stream with Kelly.
You did.
We had gone to Chicago to take our daughter to the American Girl store, and there was I've done a lot of work up in Chicago, so I'm familiar with Schaumburg, where they have the Woodfield Mall. And it's a pretty big size mall, not as big as Mall of America in Minnesota, but it's pretty big. And so we had gone there, and we were just walking through, and it was in 2009. And so we'd done 2 trips to Disney, 2 or 3 trips, might have been 3. Right. And so we'd done some trips, and all of a sudden there's this big storefront, and I can't remember what they called it, but it was a DVC store. And they sold the timeshare there. And so we went in and talked to them. They had a place for the kids to hang out, and they didn't pressure us or anything, and we were just kind of looking. But in this mall, they had a model of a studio of Animal Kingdom Lodge. And it was really cool. There was a studio, it was like walking into a room. It was, they bought enough, they had or rented or leased enough square foot of storefront so that they had a full-size room in there. So we looked at it, and it's like, okay. And we didn't buy into it.
Right.
And then, it's like, well, let us think about it. My wife wasn't ready. I was ready. As I said before, I would have bought in 2006 after our first trip.
Right.
And so we left, and then I want to say probably in January, it was probably about a month or 2 later, we get this flyer in the mail. And it was a really cool deal, which they've always kind of done. If you buy this year, they'll give you last year's points. You basically have double points to start with. And I'll freak people out because people know it runs about $170 a point now. We paid $97 a point. So that's how much it was per point. $97, $98. So it was under 100 when we bought. So we were thinking, figure out how many, and she called me at work. And this is when I had to go in the office every day. I didn't work from home. She goes, "We should buy into this." And I'm not kidding. I'm like, all right, hold on. I already knew the number because I had it on my desk. So I conferenced her in and called the Vacation Club number, and got the ball rolling. I didn't give her time to determine. Hi, Carla, Kiko.
Hey, Carla and Kiko.
I didn't give her time to backtrack and say, well, let's wait. I jumped right on it, and we've enjoyed it ever since. It's one of the few purchases. Next to buying a house or a car, it's one of the few purchases that I don't regret spending the kind of money we spent.
I've never talked to anyone Well, I know one guy who's a YouTuber over in Scotland that is wondering nowadays with the loss of perks if it's worth it. But really, 99.9% of people, yourself, Ron from the Philly crew, Mouse Talk. I mean, everybody who's gotten it, they all rave about it. And so I'm not DVC.
Yeah, I mean, I know people complain, okay, they took this way. We used to get valet parking at all the deluxe resorts, and there should be a lot of stuff that we got that they took away. I remember one year we bought annual passes for $399. I mean, that was huge. And they were the full pass that gave you the water parks. At that time, they had Disney Quest. So, I mean, it gave you all that stuff.
So that was Platinum Plus.
I mean, it was like Platinum Plus. And I mean, and I get people say, well, they take it away. But, I mean, they're very clear up front saying, what you have today in perks, you may not have tomorrow.
Hey, Michael Riley, get well soon.
Hey, Michael. So, I mean, when we bought in knowing the perks are part of it. But for us, we basically are paying to have a place to go vacation based on the number of points we bought, at least a good vacation with us and the kids, and then maybe 2 or 3 vacation trips like this year with just my wife and myself.
Right.
With the number of points, we knew that because it's paid off, we have a place to stay. Now we do have to pay the annual dues, and that they are what they are. But at the end of the day, I think they say after about 10 years, I think it's 10 years of going on the vacations, it starts paying itself off. And you've flipped the switch from being, in the red, if you will.
That's what I've heard. Actually, I don't know all the details about DVC, but that's something I have heard several times.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, that's where I want a vacation. We've gone to Vero Beach and stayed at the Disney Resort at Vero Beach, and we were at the ocean for 3 days. I'm not a huge ocean person. Right. The kids loved it. We'd go back again, but the kids never really asked to. And I wasn't going to push it, but we wanted to do it once, and we did. And so it was great. But I don't have any desire to transfer out to RCI to go to another place. Right. I'm perfectly fine going to the 10 different DVC resorts they've got now. There's enough of them where, I can. It's almost like a different vacation every time I go, because you try to stay somewhere different. At least I try to. Right.
Let me say hi to the chat real quick. I basically have when I'm highlighting people, but Fantasia 2007, thanks for being here. Carla and Kiko are West Coast friends who can't wait for Disneyland to open, and actually they can't even fly out here because of flight restrictions to Disney World. Can't wait till you can at least do that. I'd love to help you with your plans. Disinfinity and Katrina, the awesome mods. Michael Riley, get well soon. I guess you just had surgery. Let's see. VP, I hope that you're feeling well. Hope you're, I don't know if you're back to work or not yet. I guess as soon as you're feeling a little bit better, you will be, so that you can let Gonzo off the hook. He's been working hard, man. He gets in those streams at night after he rushes home from work. He looks like he's going to fall over. And Candy Mom, where you been, Candy Mom? What have you been hiding out? I haven't seen you for a few days. I'm not used to that. I think your kids might have went back to school. I don't know what that means. They're not virtual and they went back to school. So you're a little bit different of a schedule. But that's it. Yeah, we're caught up. So Shawn is a real interesting guy, really into the DVC. You might have seen him before on Jeff DeWhip Dad's channel. And he was nominated for one of those Pixar awards on Pete McDevitt's channel. Pete McDevitt actually has a channel, and they call him the godfather of let's show it. There you go. Please check out the live place right below. And Pete McDevitt. These are 2 channels that are very supportive of the Disney YouTube community. Pete McDevitt, that we just mentioned, he likes to be like a cheerleader for all of us, and get us, out there, little guys like us, out there, and also kind of hook us together too. I've sort of met people through him. And the live place, that is Dean Rice. He has this collective of live streams. So whereas you might not have ever heard of Kidani Shawn or Bob at One Stop Mouse, you can go to a live place and see all these live streams that are going on in any individual night. And you'll see big channels and small channels, and that's how we kind of get discovered too. So both of them are very supportive of us, and we like to be supportive of them. So if you could, please check them out.
Absolutely.
And let's see. Next on the yellow brick road of green screens is tell us
history.
Tell us about George Washington. No, tell us about how your channel started. I know we'll get a little bit ahead of ourselves in a minute. We'll talk about where you're thinking you're going, but how did your channel get started, and how did you get involved in the YouTube community in the first place? All of that.
So I got involved, and it's probably went a couple of years. I was sitting here at work. Again, I work from home, and I was kind of bored watching, sitting on conference calls, and I go through a lot of contracts and reading, so I listen to a lot of stuff. And I was kind of bored out of my mind, and I was kind of missing Disney. So I thought, let's go on YouTube. I didn't have a profile or anything, or an account. I said, let's go on YouTube and see if I can find some rides. I want to ride Spaceship Earth. And I went on there and I seen Resort TV 1. I said, oh, that sounds official. So I watched that, and I started and went to their channel, noticed all the stuff. So I was watching a lot of their different stuff, and then I seen something that said it's something about live every Friday night, and it may have been like one of their little thumbnails. And I'm like, they go live. What's that? And again, I'm a computer guy, but this social media stuff I'm learning, and they go live. So on Friday, I kind of was watching, and I created an account, and they were live at Magic Kingdom, and I'm like, I told my wife, I said, check this out. And so I'm putting it up on my TV through my PS4, and I'm watching this thing, and then I was a true lurker. I wasn't chatting with anyone or saying hi to anyone. I was just there at Magic Kingdom, and it's live. This is cool. And so I'm watching that, and so that's kind of how I got started in, kind of watching. And then that's where I picked up all the other channels, like Kyle and JoJo and all these other channels, Corey and this and that. And that's where I kind of picked everybody up and started watching everyone. And so then I just started watching. And then as I got more comfortable, I just started kind of, as everyone else does in the chat, just started chatting with people and just having a good time and talking about Disney, because we're all like-minded people when it comes to Disney. So that's kind of how I kind of got started. And then I would sit on Dole Whip Dad, and he was talking about DVC. So I would just start talking all kinds of information about DVC in the comments, and he kept going, I need to have you on. And then finally he put me on one night, and
that's cool.
That's kind of how it started. And he's the one that kind of pushed me into doing this. I was really nervous about it. I was like, I don't know. But he kind of pushed me, saying, look, you could really talk about DVC. So that's kind of what led me to, okay, let's get going. And then obviously I wanted to do Vlogmas, because I just wanted to do something to get me used to talking on a camera. I can talk someone's ear off all day, but getting used to talking on a camera is a little different. So got used to doing that. And I've went and watched all of them again a couple of times. And I noticed the first one or two, I was a little nervous, little different, but by the end I felt like a pro. So
you can do it. I mean, Katrina, one of our mods here, we on one of our new shows, the Bonzo Hour, which is me and Gonzo, Adventures of Gonzo combined. He was running late from work, and I had a computer issue like you and I had right before the stream, and I had to sign back in. And she got on for about 5 minutes, and just to hold down the fort, and she just talked to the chat. You can literally just do that. It's like, hey, it's Sean. What's up? It's our What's Up Today? What's Up Tuesday? And she literally and I think a lot of people could get over that if they, hey, Bob, what's going on? No, that's a bad joke. Next, Disinfinity. Hey, and you get your own style, sort of thing.
Right. And I think that's what I've, over the last, because I think the first time I really got on was, and I started really doing this, was toward the end of October. So like coming on a few shows and then doing Vlogmas. I mean, it's got me to a point where now like I said, we talked beforehand, I'm kind of dialing in where I want to go. So that's,
so tell us about Vlogmas. You and I share a little history with
Mhm.
Vlogmas of 2020. Very interesting situation. I got some advice from you as we were on somebody else's stream, and thank God I did, because I
Well,
wouldn't be
it's
here.
funny.
I'd be buried by now.
Well, it's funny because we kind of helped each other because I was going to do every day starting on the 13th and just
Right.
do one a day. And then, but I wasn't, I only wanted to do 12 days. That's what I came up with, the 12 days of Vlogmas, the 12 days of Christmas. And I know the 12 days of Christmas is after, but 12 days of Vlogmas. I'm going to do 12 days, right leading up to Christmas was my goal.
Right.
And then when you come out and you said, well, every other day, I'm like, you know what? That's even better, because then I won't have to do one every day. And then if I miss a day, I can double up, which happened a couple of
Which you
times.
did. Yeah.
Which I had to. I mean, sometimes,
Oh, no.
while we were sitting there talking, my cell work phone ring, because I cover West Coast. So I cover from Indiana all the way over to the West Coast. So I get calls as late as 8 o'clock at night. So, it is.
I was trying to do. We were both talking, guys, before the stream about how we want to be different. We want to do. So I'm trying to be different than everybody else doing Vlogmas things. I'm talking to I'm imagining what my dog is thinking. I'm interviewing myself. I'm jumping into It's a Wonderful Life. But that stuff, for anybody who's a creator, they know editing takes a long time. So I'm coming up with these ideas at the last minute. And okay, it's supposed to come out at 8 o'clock on this date. And then all of a sudden you'd see these promos for me out there on like Twitter and stuff. No, it's coming out at 9:30. No, it's coming out at 11. No, and I'd barely get them in.
Well, see, that's what I made sure I didn't do. I didn't give a ton because there's just no way, because there's too much going on to
that's
try to.
That's crazy.
But
don't do that.
It was funny. Like I said, the first couple I was nervous, and the first one or two is different than all the others, because after like the third or fourth one, I had templates, and with the software that I'm using for editing, I had saved templates. I got smart enough to go, you know what? If I save that, that's going to cut down on time. So I got my editing went from maybe a couple 2-3 hours, down to maybe about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so I could record what I needed to record. And then, the scroll stuff I was able to save. So it was just changing to maybe a picture background or something, which is easy enough to do. So I got used to doing that, which, again, I know computers. I can take this laptop apart, put it back together. I can take a tower apart, put it back together, and it'll work. Software editing is, something that I've never used. So it's something that I've been getting used to, and it's getting easier. I think I want something better, though. I bought a really cheap editing software. So I think I'm going to, at some point, buy something a little more robust, but it works for now.
Well, some of the editing software is a little complicated to start. They have like dummies books and stuff just for those things. So there's a little bit of a learning curve. So I use Adobe Pro now, but there's no way I would have been able to use that at first. So I was using Adobe Elements first. And then once I figured that out, then the other thing is, just because you know what you want, I was doing a lot of green screen, and that takes a lot of rendering time. Even if you shift me around a little bit and shift Jimmy Stewart around a little bit, and then, okay, now I can sit here on an old computer, I'd sit there for 25 minutes every time I shifted anything. Right. So this Christmas, I got a gaming computer, and I'm like, we're going to move now.
I'll tell you a little funny story about the first video that I had to edit. I mean, this goes back to when I was doing the Christmas lights and everything.
Right.
I did the Christmas lights for the house. And
good night.
Good night. Thank you for showing up. And I didn't realize when I was editing some of the things, some of the nuances, like I wanted to do certain things and I couldn't do them. And so I was constantly having to go to YouTube, or I'd do a Google search for the software. I use Power Director. Right. And I was using a search to, how do I do this? How do I do this? And I would sit and read for hours. My wife goes, what are you reading? Well, I'm trying to figure out how to edit this to do that. And it was funny that it took a long time. And again, I'm used to it now, but it was pretty funny and kind of comical, trying to get used to it.
So this guy right down here, Disinfinity, right?
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yes.
He has over 6,000 subscribers, and he's only 13 years old.
Wow.
And he was trying to tell me how to do some technical process for one of my Vlogmas videos. and I did an okay job, but I just couldn't get what he was trying to describe to me. If you want to know some, you've got Shawn now, and you've got Daniel at Disinfinity. I wouldn't come to me exactly.
That's funny.
So anyway, Nathan Rita. Hey, what's up? One Stop Mouse. Hey, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. All right. So next on the Yellow Brick Road of green screens is basically it's an overview of, so we know how you started out. We know what kind of history you have. If my dog could talk and I could sit him in my lap right now, and he's pretty smart. How would you describe Kidani Shawn, the channel?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I'm still trying to define it myself, really.
I know we were just talking about it, but if you could, you know,
if I could describe it, I want it to be informative, but I want it to be fun. And okay. I'm trying to find a way, and I know we'll get to, we're talking about where I'm heading. But where I'm heading with the channel, I want it to be informative from DVC, because I know not everybody's DVC. Some people look for it or are looking to get into it. Some people aren't going to. But I want it to be informative that can kind of help. But I also want it to be fun where I'm not boring everyone to death, where they're falling asleep and, oh, I can't stay here any longer, and then they disappear. So that's the balance that and the mixture that I'm trying to come up with. So as an overview, I just want to be a fun channel, a place where, you know, everybody comes and hangs out, has some fun, a little bit of razzing. I love to razz. I'm starting to come out of my shell, if you've noticed. And you
are coming out of your shell, and it reminds me of Josh from Resort TV 1.
As I get to know everyone, I'll be a lot of fun. But I am pretty good about watching how I say things. I am pretty good at that.
That's a good idea. And
I'm sure at some point I'll make dad builds list, but I got a while to go for that.
I am not really good at that. I kind of my wife asked me that the other day. She's like, you just tell everybody everything, don't you? They know where you're born. They know this, they know that. It's like, they know how many times you've been married. It's like, you just say whatever's on your mind, don't you? It's like, maybe at some point you might not want to do that. I was well, right now I get nervous. So I'm always trying to fill in the blank, because I'm afraid people are going to get disinterested too, you know? So,
so Katrina, that's a great question. Great question.
What is she saying? Does your wife and kids want any part of your channel? That is a very good question. Yes.
There's a one-word answer for that, and that is no. I'm right now. So we have a trip planned. My wife and I it'll be our second trip ever of going on a vacation without our children. We did it September of 2019. That was our first trip ever without our kids. Best trip ever. So we were supposed to go 3 times last year. Obviously, with everything we didn't get to. So we got 3 trips planned for this year. And I'm racking my brain on how I'm going to record and do things, because she wants absolutely zero part of being in this. Now, maybe I can get that to change, but as of right now, nada.
We could write a biography about Bob because of all the information he has told us. Yeah. Well, you know, this is interesting. This is interesting about how you can open up. And bear with me, because I don't know how you're going to develop with this. Mm-hmm. If you go to One Stop Mouse and you look at the little trailer, you know, talking about the channel, I don't even tell you my name. It literally says, "Hi, this is Jones," you know, like my nickname. I didn't want to tell anything about myself, and then I kind of, like you said, you're opening up. But now I've kind of opened up too much. And now everybody and their brother makes jokes about my marriages and stuff. So I'm pulling back. So there you go.
Well, I will say that on January 9th, which was 5 or 6 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, that was mine and my wife's 25th wedding anniversary. So
wow. Congratulations. That's terrific. I don't know what
that was on a Saturday. That was on a Saturday. So I think that day, anything that happened on YouTube, obviously I wasn't on, because we did family stuff, and the kids are here. You know, my son just graduated college, and then my daughter she's in her 2nd year of college and 1st year of nursing school. So, you know, we kind of celebrated as a family here, because we really couldn't go out, and we do a big dinner during Christmas where we go somewhere really nice. A lot of people have heard of like St. Elmo Steakhouse, which is a big famous steakhouse here in downtown Indianapolis, which is a city just north of me.
Right.
Well, the capital. So there's a couple of really big restaurants like that. We were supposed to go to St. Elmo's this year, but we didn't get to because of because of COVID.
Right.
So, but last year we went to a place that's called Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh yeah, I love that place.
We went there. I walked out of there. I was hurting. But so yeah, so we did some stuff around the house. Obviously not going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, 25 years.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not going to give you any information, Katrina or Kelly or anything else. I'm not going to harp on how I'm not going to say anything.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go. I'm one of those guys that would normally say, "What's your secret?" and stuff like that because
what I can tell you works for us isn't going to work for somebody else.
Right.
I mean, and this is just my opinion, and people can shoot me, whatever. It is what it is. It takes work, and it's hard work, and it's not easy. There's days we don't speak for a while because we're mad at each other for something. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we always do the right things, and but it's tough, and having kids makes it even tougher. It really is. So we get along, we communicate well. We've done counseling, and we found out our biggest problem was communication. We assume things instead of talking it out. So we learned how to talk things out. Again, sometimes the talking is a little louder talking, but it is what it is. But it's you work on it, and it's an everyday thing. It's not something that it's not one thing. It's an everyday thing. You got to work on it. Awesome.
Congratulations, Katrina. That is terrific.
Absolutely.
That's really good. Congratulations. Happy anniversary. Everybody's happy for you. I know I am. I know how much work it takes, and I won't go into my stuff too much, but I will say it takes so much work that my previous marriage to this, I was a counselor and my wife was a psychologist who did lots of sessions with other people in marriage counseling. And despite what you would think were people who kind of had their finger on the pulse of a successful relationship, we couldn't make it past 12 years. So you guys are like marriage heroes. So congratulations.
It's just natures. I mean, some people, it just isn't going to work, and you work at it and you work at it, and you come to realize maybe it's better if we're not together. I mean, you just take it. It was really cool. One of my nephews got married. I'm the youngest of 6. I'll share that. So I call myself the baby socks. But I give myself nicknames.
I like that.
But we were
like a prize fighter.
Yeah, one of my nephews that got married a couple of years ago, and we were there, and they do the generation song at the wedding where everyone dances, and then they'll announce, okay, if you've been married X amount of time, right, then you stay. If and then the people sit, and the winner was my brother, and then the second place was one of my other brothers, and then I came in third. So it was pretty funny to kind of see that, and so then my brother uses it as a token to his son who got married, saying, see, it can be done. But it's good stuff. Maybe
nice. I think we have to get a pair of bronzed baby socks that have like the YouTube emblem on it. And
just regular socks. You don't need bronze.
Okay. Oh, I'm having some nice lag on and off here tonight. Spectrum, Florida, not good. That's all I'm gonna say. So shows and the way that you're kind of programming. We know you did Vlogmas, and I haven't checked out your channel lately. Do you have like shows? I'm playing around with a few shows.
No, I once Vlogmas was done, right. I think I've been on a few, like I said, live shows with Kelly, the brunch of the bunch, and I think that's really it. I had a lot of stuff going on with work this first part of January, so it's been really tough. Right. But like I said, I've got a direction now. I think I want to go with everything. which I'm going to start, and we can get into that here in a little bit. But I mean, I haven't done a whole lot. I did a few before the Vlogmas because I was trying to get going. So I did video. I had my video camera set up in one angle, recording me putting up Christmas lights, while I had my phone recording over here. So I had all this stuff going on. So that was one of the first ones I did.
Right.
I wanted to record myself walking, but I did it once, and I thought, oh no, I'm not going to do that again. That was too painful, because I tend to walk 3 miles a day every day. I haven't done it since I've had the surgery on my hand, but
how is that going anyway? How you doing?
It's good. I can bend my finger about that far now, so it's.
And you're using better. That putty?
My putty, yes, I got my putty right here.
Your strength putty?
My strength putty, which is right here. So I use it, and I have to use this on the scar tissue. I call this my mojito mix. So I have to push on the scar tissue to try to get rid of the scar tissue.
To kind of break it up.
To break it up. So it's pretty good. I mean, I had carpal tunnel surgery, and then trigger finger for this finger here. The scar tissue, I mean, it actually looks pretty good. It's not as red anymore, and I can use my hand, but this finger still feels like, if you've had a sprained ankle or sprained your wrist or something, that's what my finger feels like now. It feels like it's sprained. Ooh. So I can't put a lot of pressure on it, other than I can use it for some things. So I still have to be careful with it. There's some things I can do, but for the most part, I can use it. It's not too bad. It's getting better. It's just not getting better as fast as I would like.
Cool. Well, the two categories we have left are evolve, how you've evolved from when you first started to where you are now, and then what you were thinking about, and basically our discussion before we got on the future. So we'll start from, how a lot of people get on, and they really don't have too much of a clue. I mean, my channel was actually had another name, and then halfway through my existence, Josh from Resort TV One basically said, you should change that name. Everybody thinks that you're a travel agency. It was called WDW Epic Vacations. And changed the name to this. And then One Stop Mouse was, I wanted it to be like a one-stop location, a vlog, a blog, a podcast, a website, where it was a one-stop place for all this information. And I didn't realize how much we helped each other in this thing. How much doing this helps you, helps me, helps the people who are in the stream, and how they help me, and how Kelly helps us when we're on her things, and we're all friends. There's no competition. So I evolved a lot just before I even had any subscribers, really, and anybody even knew who I was. And then the other thing is the things that I did that took the most work, nobody ever sees. So It's a Wonderful Life YouTubers like it, but nobody watches it out there. I did a thing called, that was cool. And I did another thing called where Chewbacca gives me secret plans to how to get through Galaxy's Edge during the opening. It's called The Wookiee's Guide to Galaxy's Edge. Nobody watches that. But then you do other things like live streams where you just, kind of hacking around, and a whole bunch of people watch them. So I really didn't have any idea of, and I still don't to this day. So how have you sort of evolved, and what have you learned up until this point?
Well, I've learned that I'm still trying to learn and figure out what I'm doing. I mean, it's honestly, it's I don't want to say it's hard. It is hard talking to a camera if it's something that you've never done before.
Yeah.
But as I'm getting used to that, now it's more of, how creative am I? I mean, I'm a very analytical thinker. I'm like an engineer type person, so I'm kind of methodical. I'm not super creative. Right. So how can I take what I do but make it kind of creative? And so that's kind of where I am. Is how do I evolve what I've done to this date? And I attribute, I've got, I think, 89 followers right now. So hopefully, I was hoping to get to 100 by New Year's, but just a little short. But it's getting well. I picked up 3 new people just by being on Kelly's show the other night, which was great. But now I think most of the people that I picked up to this point have been from, being on shows like with Pete and with you now, and being on all those, kind of guests. So what I got to do now, and I picked some up, I think, from the Vlogmas. A lot of people really did like the Vlogmas.
Good.
So what I need to do now,
did very much. I joke about it, but I liked it very much.
And I had fun with it. I really did.
Good.
So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I going to do that next year? Because actually in the second week of December next year, I'm going to be at Disney. Well, actually this year. So I'm trying to think, am I going to be able to do Vlogmas this year? Because I'm actually going to be at Disney. Maybe I can do something. We'll figure that out when that time comes. But so my goal in evolving is just to, find out what I like to do and what I like to communicate, which kind of takes us into the future of where I want to go.
Well, quick, I haven't said it in a few minutes. Please do me a favor. If you look down on this crawl below, go over to Kidani Shawn's channel and check it out. And if you like what you see, and I bet that you will, please subscribe to Kidani Shawn. And if you're liking what you're seeing here with this wackiness, I'd appreciate you doing the same here. And hitting that thumbs up really helps the channel. Well, one of my big things, seriously, is when you see me stream in the parks, it's really difficult to stream with third-party applications that have all these glitches. And if you get to a certain amount of subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, you can actually go directly through YouTube, and it makes it much easier. So it's not all about, it's not a monetary thing or anything. It's really just that. What Shawn is saying right now, we're both at a level where it's technical things. It's not difficult to get another editing program like you're saying, or to learn it or whatever. It's just, it's sticky. You know what I mean? Like when we were getting on the stream right before you guys came on, and he could hear me, I couldn't hear him. Why? Weird little glitches. For the longest time, I had this expensive mic that I bought, right? Yeah, but I could use it for everything but getting on streams with people. And then I sounded like a small transistor radio from my little camera on top of the thing, even though this big, huge, expensive mic is in the way. So it's for little stuff like that to get us through the stuff. Don't you agree?
I agree. My next step is, see, I'm using a laptop that I bought for my daughter a year ago that she just bought her own iMac. So I took this on, I re-imaged it, got it all set up because my other one was having problems. So now I just ordered some memory to upgrade the RAM on it, because in some cases it buffers. I'm surprised it hasn't buffered yet because it's only got 4 meg of RAM, which means the processor can only handle so much stuff at one time. So I can't open anything else or do anything while we're doing this. But I'm getting ready to upgrade this bad boy. And when I do that, hopefully it'll move a whole lot faster. So
I was, up until Christmas, I was working on a Windows 7 desktop that was like 7 or 8 years old. That was like ready to fall apart. And right down next to me on the floor, I call her Old Bessie. I'm like, come on, we can edit this.
Right.
It's like pushing an old car. It's like
right. So yeah, this laptop's only a couple of years old, but she just never really cared for it. My wife had an iMac, and she ended up taking that over, and she loves it. So she today just bought her a new iMac for nursing school.
Wow. All right. So, and then this is what we were talking about. I'm lagging again. This is what we were talking about.
You know what's funny? I'm not seeing the lag.
Oh, maybe. Behind the scenes, we were basically talking about the future, and this is interviewing Shawn, not me. So, but we were talking about, what's in the future. What do you want? You were saying that you wanted to find your niche, find your voice. You were starting to feel more comfortable talking, and that was a big thing. And Dole Whip Dad encouraged you. If you could guess, and wow, what a sticky question this is. I mean, I'm not asking you to predict where the world is going to be in a year. Okay, forget about that. I can't even tell you what it's going to be like if I turn on the news when I leave the stream. But but just your channel. Forget about everything else. Just be laser focused. What would you like and or what do you see will be happening with your channel, and what ideas do you have for making it unique?
So where I'd like to see it, and I'll go broad picture and I'll kind of narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
So broad picture, I'd like to be around 500 subs by the end of this year. You know, again, I'm not setting the bar super high, like I got to beat 1,000. You know, and for me doing this, I'm not worried about the monetization or anything. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, again, I'm not worried about it. I'm doing this. One of a couple of things I've seen, you know, everyone else talk about their love for Disney and how they share it. Yeah. And so that's kind of like, I want to share my love for Disney. So what my goal is, you know, and this kind of ties into the future and what we talked about is, I want to share DVC, but I want to share it from a little bit different perspective. I want to share it from someone who uses their DVC membership every year.
Good.
And I want to take it. And you know, if you're a church person, you go to church, and you know they'll do a series on the Book of Job or the Book of Matthew. And so, you know, for the next 10 weeks, we're going to dive into this book, and this is what we're going to talk about. So what I'm going to do, and you guys are all hearing this first. This is exclusive.
Go.
So what I'm going to do is, starting in February, the first week of February, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to have a month-long series on DVC in some aspects of it. So I can tell you the first month it's going to be about my DVC story. And that's going to be each week I'm going to dive into a section. So for those here, you've heard, you know, kind of how I got started with DVC. So I'll kind of start with that. I'll start with that and kind of what DVC means to me. And I'm going to try to, I'm starting the outline now to outline to where, you know, February's got 4 weeks. So I'll try to get 4 shows. The big thing right now is to outline that and figure out when I'm going to do it. That's kind of what I'm working on now. And then March, I'm going to do the same thing. And in March, I want to talk about, I think I want to go down DVC planning. So you bought DVC. So whether you bought 50 points or you've got 500 points, what are you doing? You know, how do you plan? Here's what I do. And again, I've got a spreadsheet that I can track everything that I do. I can tell you all the fast passes that we had when we went last September. I used to keep it on paper. Back in 2019, I decided to go electronic instead of writing it down. So everything now is electronic. So I keep it on, you know, I can see it on my phone or whatever. So, you know, that's what I want to do for February, in March. So March, each week, I'll dive into, you know, a little more specific of the over broadening of trip planning from a DVC perspective. And again, it's not going to be tailored to everybody, but what my goal in all this is to bring someone in, not every show, but maybe 1 or 2 shows to talk about their DVC experience. So I'm going to give you my DVC story. I'm going to bring someone in that first month that'll talk about their DVC story. And then maybe Kelly will come on as a DVC cast member and talk about that from her perspective. And then April, I think I'm going to do April. I'm going to start with the resorts, and in each week tackle 1 or 2 resorts. I've got tons of pictures. I just don't have a lot of video. So I'm going to show some pictures of things that I've taken. I do have a video of I think it's the 1-bedroom beach club, but some of the commentary in there, I don't know if I want to share. So I probably won't post that. I know I can cut it out, but so that's what I would do. So those first 3 months I've got kind of nailed down. And then by then I'll have my next trip. So then we're staying at the Riviera. We're doing a split stay actually. So we're staying at the Riviera, and then we're staying at Copper Creek for our next trip, even though it's not our home resort.
Wow, that should be great.
So I'm going to try to get some room tours of the rooms we're staying in and some stuff for the resorts. Like I said, I still got to figure out how I'm going to do it and keep my wife out of it because she doesn't want to be in it. But we'll see what happens. But that's kind of where I think my show's going to go. It's going to kind of talk about DVC. I want to try to have some fun with it. I'm going to try to do it in a fun way, not just regurgitate information or bore people with information or stats, but try to show people this, you know, like show some pictures of this was us on vacation. Hopefully I don't get in trouble with her with that, but just show some pictures of the family, you know, that kind of thing. But as we played out on the beach at Vero Beach and stuff, the kids had a ball with that. So I think that's kind of where I see it going. So again, we'll get the first month and, you know, go there. And then, I shot the idea over to Jeff. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this on my own channel. And then when he comes back with his DVC show on Tuesday nights, I'll probably still jump on that show with him and kind of do that, and then invite him onto my show each week so that we're kind of working together. So that's kind of where it's going. I think that's what I'm going to do. Subject to change, of course, but it's kind of where I think it's heading.
Well, I mean, you know, there are hundreds of Disney YouTube channels, hundreds of them. If you're in certain cliques, maybe you know Jeff better, or you know us better. Everybody knows the real big ones like Resort TV One, you know, stuff like that. But there are hundreds of Disney YouTube channels, and well, you want to make a bet that, let's say, if there were 250 Disney YouTube channels, 224 of them are probably talking a lot this week about getting rid of the Magical Express, the bus, over and over and over and over and over again, posing the same questions. Why are they getting rid of the perks? I certainly am asking myself the same questions you're asking, and I'm glad you're doing it now. You're doing it at the incept. Some people don't do it for a long time. It's like, what do I add? I don't want to be one more stick on the pile. What do I add? You and I are feeling the same way. I feel I'm not interested in the monetization. I actually said to somebody the other day, they asked me a question about how the real world and stuff tied into Disney. And I was like, okay, great. I'm not going to beat around the bush like everybody else is. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. I'm not making any money here, so I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, that kind of thing. And when we did Vlogmas, I went out of my way like a lunatic to do insane, crazy videos, primarily because I think unboxing videos are great. But if 30 other channels I happen to know personally are all doing them, not even talking about the ones I don't know, why should I do it? I don't even think I would do a good job doing that.
That's kind of why I went with the socks, because I remember last year at the watching a lot of Vlogmases then, and I didn't remember anyone doing socks. And I love Steve from Steve World's idea where he read a book this year, because I actually thought about that before I got to the socks. Hey Tim, and I thought about that, and I was like, oh. And then when I went to the socks thing, and then I seen Steve do that, I was like, oh man, I should have done that too. But no, but I mean, there's so many ideas out there. You know, I'm like you. I want to do something that attracts people that's a little different. And I mean, I could have shown the socks and said, "Here's what they are," and then said, "Hey, have a nice day." But what better thing to do than to put the socks on? And I know the first couple videos I had my Crocs in there, which Jeff hates Crocs, so I had to kind of tease him a bit about that. But yeah, I mean, it's just trying to come up with something just a little bit different that will make people want to watch. And I mean, that's what you got to do. You just try to stand out a bit. I mean, not everybody's going to like it, and not everyone's going to stay, but hopefully some do and some like it, and just have some fun with it.
You know who's really good with that? Carlos from Disney World Freaks. He just, I'm starting to feel like a brotherhood with him, even though we hardly know each other. He just gets on and he's like, this is it. This is how it is. This is it. And I'm like, all right, that's refreshing. Come on, tell me some more. Doesn't mean he's right. You know, that's the thing. It doesn't mean you're right, but you're interesting to watch. This is entertainment after all, you know? So
Kidani asked a question a little while back. She goes, where does Kidani come from?
I saw that. Where do you come from? Were you happy?
Kidani, I mean, Kidani, my name initially, it was Kidani Shawn's Village. That was the original name of my channel. And it ties back to Kidani Village, which is my Homer's DVC resort. Right. And then I thought Kidani Shawn's Village sounds too cheesy for me. Right. I mean, it was too much. And so I said, Kidani Shawn, just put your first name in there. Put Kidani. It's your home resort, and it kind of works together. And just go with it. And the background, and actually, you have the old logo that's up there. That's the old one.
I do actually, and you know what? I have the new one. He sent it to me, but I had already made that. I forgot to remake the thumbnail. The other one is nicer. Okay.
So what that is, that's a picture. If you've ever stayed at and I can't remember if Jumbo has it, but at Kidani Village, and especially in the one bedroom, they have you know, a jacuzzi tub and then a shower. And then right above the jacuzzi tub, they have the tiled bathroom wall. Well, that's part of the tiled bathroom wall. So I had taken a few pictures of that, you know, when we stayed there for the first time, and those were some old pictures. So I thought, ooh, I like that picture. So then I used it, and I just put Kidani Shawn above the picture and called it a day. So then the new one I sent you, I actually used art and in PowerPoint, just in PowerPoint.
Right.
And I drew that picture, and I took the stencil. I you know, copied the stencil, the animal figures that's in that one, and I moved it over to that picture. So it was more of a arty draw type picture instead of just a picture with my name on it. So that's the difference in the two. But yeah, Kidani Shawn, it's just my home resort. I just threw it in there because I didn't want to use my full name.
Here, oh, see, look at that. Because it's going right through it with the green screen.
Yeah, it's going through with the green screen.
Oh, no, there you go. That is the new logo, and the lettering is cooler than the one that
is you know, you go searching for the free font online, like, you know, the like Waltograph. There's there's a Disney African font. That's what that was.
Oh, is that what that is?
So I downloaded that, and it types in all caps, so you don't have to worry about making lowercase or uppercase. And that's what I use, and it's pretty cool font. Interesting.
Wow. Well, yeah, I think we agree on we're little guys. We're trying to be different. So when was it? You said that you had some trips coming up. You were going to stay at the Riviera, and
we're going to be there at the end of February, or end of April, 1st of May.
Cool.
And that's kind of a long trip because we were supposed to leave on a Tuesday, come home on a Tuesday. But then my wife realized that I think the Tuesday we were coming home was going to be May the 4th.
Right.
And so she goes, we really should be at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge on May the 4th because May the 4th be with you. And I'm like, does that mean we can add a night? And she goes, yes, add a night. And so again,
nice.
The longer I can stay, the happier I am. So if she tells me to do it, I just do it. So it's kind of a longer trip. But so we're going to be there from, I think it's April 20. It's either the evening of April 28th through May the 5th. We fly home. So we're gonna be there during that time frame. We're staying one night in the Riviera. The night we get there, in the room that sleeps two people, that has the pull down bed. We're staying there that night, and then the next day we transfer over to a standard studio for 3 nights, and then we transfer to Copper Creek for 3 or 4 nights. So
wow,
it's gonna be a cool trip then. And then we're gonna be there at the end of September, 1st of October. So we'll be at Magic Kingdom on October 1st, which is the 50th anniversary. So we'll be there on that day, and we've already got our park day secured.
Nice.
And we'll be there the second week of December.
Nice. So you got your year planned out. Very good. Very good.
I'm actually working on the 2022 now.
Very good. Well, what do you got coming up? It looks like our hour is coming to a close. What's next?
I found some videos of some shorts that I'm going to do of some savannah eating. I can't even talk now. Animals eating from the savannah there at Sunset Savannah from our Kidani Village room.
Right.
So I got some video there, so I'm going to do some shorts with some of that. And I'm just working on getting my first show that first week of February. Once I figure out date, time, I'll get that first live show going. So it's kind of where it's going.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Shawn, for coming on. You can just call him Socks, Kidani Shawn. I nicknamed him Socks because he did a series of sock videos for Vlogmas, and he kind of liked it. I think he sounds like a old school shortstop. And now that they're calling him Baby Socks, he sounds more like a heavyweight contender or something like that. I don't know.
Baby Socks.
I don't know why I'm doing all these sports analogies here. I'm not like a sports announcer or something. One Stop Mouse is going to be over on the Adventures of Gonzo tomorrow night. We've got a cooperative show called Bonzo. It's the Bonzo Hour. Pretty crazy, the two of us together in the same place at the same time, and that's tomorrow at 10:30. Thank you guys for watching and being here with us, and thank you, Shawn, very much. This has been a blast. Thanks a lot.
I I had a great time. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun and getting to know everybody, and just looking forward to having some more fun.
Exactly. Cool. And thank you, mods, for doing a great job. You know, without these guys, I'm so bad at talking to you and then getting back and forth with the chat. I'd never say hi to anybody. I'm so sorry if I missed anybody. Thank you, Katrina and Disinfinity and Candy Mom, very much. And anything else you'd like to say, Shawn, before we sign off?
Nope. I just usually end with "see you real soon."
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Come back and see us. We'll see you real soon. Why? Because we like you. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow night on the Bonzo Hour at 10:30 over on Adventures of Gonzo. Bye-bye.
Good night.
And I'm hitting the button. See ya.